We've been tracking a pair of thoroughbreds for quite a while now, and we finally found them out in the wild. Crikey, mate! Crappy Steve Irwin impressions aside, you know what these two cars are and what they're capable of out in the wild in their elements. Today though, we're going to do something a little different, and maybe you've guessed it, we're going to put them through our cornering, performance and ride quality tests. So let's get straight to it. Starting out with the cornering test, of course, as we always do, today we're going to look at the Thar and the Jimny doing two runs, one at 60 kmph and the second run at 65 kmph, where all the action happens. Looking at the Thar first, and at 60 kmph, as you can see, it is got a little bit of body roll, but it stays nice, keeps a nice line through the corner and doesn't clip any cones. But at 65 kmph, well, all the action happens. It dives very hard on the ESP. ESP does manage to keep it in a bit, but it still runs wide and kills those two cones. Moving on to the Jimny then, and at 60 kmph, the Jimny also looks fairly stable. I can feel ESP kicking in just a little bit. It's braking the rear wheels, but it's keeping it nice and steady through the corner. So moving on to 65 kmph with the Jimny, and it also runs wide just like the Thar. I could feel ESP kicking in, keeping it going through the corner, but it still drifts wide and kills those two cones. So we're going to have to go to the photo finish again for this round. And when you freeze frame at the point of impact of the cones for both the cars, you can see that they're running wide from the corner. But the way they finish off the corner, the Jimny is slightly tighter line than the Thar, and so the Jimny just about wins this test. In pure performance terms, the Thar easily beats the Jimny. Turbo petrol versus naturally aspirated races rarely finish any differently. 5 seconds quicker to 100 kmph, but only 2.5 seconds quicker at the quarter-mile mark means the Jimny does regain a little ground after crossing 100 kmph. And in the roll-on numbers, it's clear that the initial acceleration is where the Thar excels. No doubt, it wins the acceleration test. But here is a little race we did to show what would happen if the race included a loaded car. Now, while this race isn't something we'd expect any Thar or Jimny owner to ever try, it does demonstrate and quantify how much more practical it is to have 4 doors than just 2. You don't need a spec sheet to know that the tiny Jimny has a big weight advantage over the Thar, but it also has skinny tires. And when it came to the braking tests, we were a little surprised to see a big margin in the results. The Thar wins again. In the ride quality test, we decided to go fully loaded and decided to revert to our good old soaking test. The Thar suspension feels a lot stiffer, and there's a lot of movement transfer to the occupants inside the cabin. The suspension does a good job of taking on bad roads, but it can't completely isolate occupants from the rough surface. The Jimny, on the other hand, is a lot more comfortable. There's noticeably less side-to-side movements over bad roads, and it's quite obvious from the footage that the Jimny is the more comfortable car even when fully loaded. In urban conditions, the same holds true too. The Jimny is much more comfortable both in the city and on the highway. There is less motion felt in both the front and rear seats. And even on smoother roads and on the highway, the Thar tends to allow a lot of side-to-side motion into the cabin. Even on the smooth expressway, the Thar is noticeably less comfortable. An easy win for the Jimny in the comfort department then. Time now for the results. With 2 wins apiece, it's a tie. The Jimny is the better handler and the more comfortable compromise, while the Thar with its bigger, more powerful turbo petrol is unsurprisingly the better performer. But these two cars are quite unique.
They can get down and dirty like the workhorses that they are, and can even be accessorized to a level that will garner you more head turns than even a supercar. They really are exceptional in the way they make us feel, either as an owner or even as an enthusiast just watching one go by. And I think that if there was one Compero that should have finished in a tie, then this is it. I think we all win with this one.